Hey friends, today I'm going to take you through a quick post-run yoga flow with minimal cues. Starting off in Thunderbolt, go ahead and come to kneeling, sitting hips on heels, toes curled under, and you can settle your hands on your lap. Perhaps place one hand over the navel, the other over the heart, just to tune into the rhythm of your breath. And while it might seem overwhelming in the beginning, challenge yourself to just sit in stillness, focused on the rhythm of your breath, tuning into the beat of your heart and the sensations that you feel. Stay here. No matter how badly you want to come out of it, just take one more breath. And then go ahead and release onto your hands and knees. Begin to stretch out the right calf, so go ahead and extend the right leg behind you, toes tucked under, and then press the heel back. Firm up through your quad, level out through your hips, and then push into the floor through hands to encourage that calf, the Achilles tendon to stretch. Take a breath in. Slow breath out. And gently release the knee down. And getting ready to swap sides, extend the left leg behind you. Toes curled under, press the heel back. Push down through hands, firm up through the quad. Ensure that the hips are level. Take a deep breath in. Breath out. And gently release the knee down. Tuck your toes under, breathe in, lift your hips high, and then breathe out to downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal out the feet, bend the knees right, left, push down through one heel, then the other. Encourage the spine and arms to lengthen. Any movement that feels comfortable for you. Bend the knees as much as you need in the shape, and then sweep the right leg high. We'll take a few knee circles, so painting big circles with the knee to open up through the hip. Continue to press the chest back towards the standing leg. And we'll swap sides. Focus on the rotation through the hip. And then release the foot to the floor. Begin by stepping your right foot in between your hands. And then gingerly soften the left knee downward. One at a time, place your hands atop the knee and lift yourself up to your lunge. Tuck your pelvis under. Press your hips forward. If you have any pre-existing knee injuries, careful not to let the knee drift past the toes. Lift up through the chest. Breathe deeply and softly. Release the hands to the floor on your next breath out. Shift to your half splits. Dig the right heel to the floor. Flex the toes towards the shin. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, and then exhale, hinge from your hips downward. Feel free to maintain a micro bend through the knee. Feel the stretch through the hamstring. Next inhale, rock back forward to your lunge. Feel free to press your hips further forward, and then we'll transition to pyramid. So lift up off of the back knee. And again, you can bend the front knee as you need. We're just accessing the hamstrings from a different angle here. Feel free to place the hands atop blocks if you have them. Soften your forehead towards your knee. Breathe in, rock back forward to your lunge, maybe back and forth between lunge and pyramid. And then we'll transition to lizard pose. Toe heel your right foot to the side of your mat. Soften your hands under your shoulders. Again, careful not to allow the knee to track past the toes. Maybe rotate your foot towards 2 o'clock. If it's comfortable, settle down to forearms. Find the variation that feels best for you and breathe deeply. We'll press back up to palms, lift off of the back knee, and then settle down to both knees. We're going to open up through chest and shoulders in puppy pose. Melt your heart to the floor and soften your forehead on the ground. Grip fingertips into the mat as you keep your hips above the knees. Breathe in and breathe out. Next inhale, lift back up to hands and knees. We'll go ahead and step the left foot between the hands and softening the knee to the floor, placing the hands atop the knee for support, tucking the pelvis under and pressing the hips forward. As you breathe in, feel the chest lift up. As you breathe out, press the hips further forward, sink them down towards the floor, and then release your hands to the floor for half splits, wrapping the hip back, digging the heel down, flexing the toes back as well. Feel free to bend the front knee as you need. Soften your shoulders away from the ears. And then here I kind of broke free of the typical expression of this shape because I have some knee injuries on my left leg. Listen to your body. If you'd like to pause at any point, hold the stretch longer, feel free. Begin to transition to your pyramid pose. Lift up off of the right knee and straighten both legs as best you can. Feel the stretch as you elongate the spine and hinge downward. Hands where it's comfortable for you. Breathe. We'll transition to lizard. So wiggling the right toes back, softening the knee to the floor, and then pointing the left toes to 10 o'clock. Find the variation that feels best for you. Focus on the stretch through the outer left hip and breathe. Sink the hips down, press the floor away through the right hand or forearm, and lift back up. Go ahead and step the left foot back for your downward facing dog. Next inhale, go ahead and step the right foot between the hands. We'll find our runner's lunge, keeping the left palm planted under the shoulder. Reach the right arm skyward. Allow your gaze to follow the right fingertips. You can stay still or find a little bit of a sway if that's comfortable. Release the hand down and transition to wide-legged forward fold. Hands where it's comfortable for you. Press through outer edges of the feet. Breathe deeply as you lift your hips up. Focus on that hinge. Find the hand placement that's comfortable for you. Maybe open up through chest further, interlacing the fingers, reaching the arms overhead. Think about extension. And gently release if you took that variation. Walk your hands to the back of your mat. We'll move on to runner's lunge with the left leg forward. Right hand planted under shoulder. Push the floor away through right palm. Lift up through left. Breathe in. Perhaps roll to the outer edges of the feet, especially if you have tension in your IT band. And then release. We'll travel through our wide-legged forward fold. You can pause if you'd like to hold. Otherwise, we'll move on, getting into the hips a bit more with deer pose. So soften down to your hips and sit bones. Create a 90-degree bend in both legs. Right shin parallel to the short edge of the mat. Left shin parallel to the long edge. Flex the feet and then soften down on the right thigh. Breathe here. Encourage your knees to press downward. Internal rotation through left leg, external through right. When you're ready, press back up, and then we'll find a little bit of movement, so keeping the feet in place, windshield wipe the knees side to side before we move on to the other side. So now the left leg is forward. 90-degree bend through both legs, thinking of making like a windmill shape. Flex the feet, lengthen the spine and torso before softening over the left thigh. Breathing deeply, pressing the knees downward. Now we have internal rotation through right leg, external through left. Begin to lift back up to palms. Windshield wipe the knees side to side once more. Before I move on to my favorite stretch, extend the right leg long for single leg forward fold with a variation. Rotate your torso to the left, sweep your left arm high, and then extend so you're reaching towards your toes. Just focus on that lateral stretch, keeping the left hip anchored down, opening up through the left side body. You can even prop your head up with your right palm. Just breathe deeply. Expansion through left side ribs. And release. And cross the left foot over the right knee for a seated twist. Tenting the left fingertips behind you, twisting to your left. You can hook the right elbow outside the knee. You can hug the thigh in or even find a bind. And gently release your twist. We'll swap sides, single leg forward fold with the left leg extended. Rotate your torso to the right. And then reach the arm towards the toes. Maybe prop your head up, keeping the right hip anchored. Feel that extension through the right side body. Breathe deeply. And release. Cross the right foot over the left knee. Rotate your body to the right. Tenting right fingertips behind the tailbone. Hugging the thigh in. Pressing the elbow against the knee. Or finding that bind. Breathe deeply in your twist. Keeping sit bones floored. And gently release your twist. Final stretch will be Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees wide like butterfly. You can keep your heels close to the body or further away. I like them a little bit further away. Grab onto ankles or outer edges of the feet. Hinge from your hips as you feel the sternum pull forward. Soften your chin to your chest and breathe. Encourage the knees down with elbows. And stay here as long as you need. Thank you so much. I know your body's thanking you after that run. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. From the bottom of my heart, namaste.